Hi everyone, it's Becky here. Welcome to another new video on my YouTube channel. And after the sketch at Lost Lagoon at Stanley Park, I'm walking around a quieter neighborhood of the West End area. So this area is around 20 minutes walk from the Lost Lagoon, and I am looking for a special neighborhood cafe. Oh, here I am, right outside it. Oh, the inside looks so old-fashioned. The door is so lovely painted. Lots of grocery and snack items. But it's very, very hot in here. And so I ordered a cup of iced latte. So here's my Lost Lagoon sketch from the previous video. And my cup of iced latte. Alright, so I'm attaching my gooseneck tripod to the edge of the table. I'm going to sketch my latte and the exterior of the cafe. So now I'm going to begin drawing the cup of latte in transparent plastic cup. When I'm drawing a cup or jug or any vessel, I like to start from the top first. It's an ellipse. And then the body part of the lid. Now we're having a really short and chubby cylinder and more looping lines around to form the brim. The body part, a taller cylinder. Now I'm going to draw a little platform for this little cup of latte and the rim. Give it a bit of depth. The opening, the sipping area of the lid, nice details. So there's always a sense of depth or three-dimensionality in even the most simple things that we draw. So again, just adding these curves inside and outside the cup to suggest a transparent vessel, and then very loose squares to suggest ice cubes in there, and also underneath the liquid line. Alright, so that's a very quick 3-minute drawing. Now I'm ready to quickly paint watercolors before the ice cubes are gone. Alright, so I'm going to begin with my large tip Holbein water brush to wet the whole area with a little clear water. This is a mix of yellow ochre and a little bit of orange, the lightest tone that I see. Just very quickly and loosely punch this tone of yellow-orange on. Let it dry a little bit. Now I am mixing burnt sienna with orange, starting with the bottom because the bottom part of an iced coffee is actually, it looks more concentrated, and then gradually push it upwards. The top part is very transparent, and also the top area shines of a brighter tone of orange brown. Okay, now I just grab a little bit of raw umber to put an even stronger tone on the bottom, and also quick dashes on these ice cubes for shaded areas. Very interesting. And yeah, dilute this color a little bit around the inner wall of the cup using a little bit leftover gray to paint the brim area around the lid. And yeah, again, some more leftover gray. As you can see that it mixed with blue and a little bit royal purple. Now it's time to paint the shadow. Again, cobalt blue mixed with a little bit royal purple. Very quick wash, darker around the bottom of the cup. And just let the wet onto wet technique do the work without trying to blend way too much. Okay, so that's it. That's my sketch of my iced latte. Now it's time to enjoy it and sketch the exterior of this little building. I think it's a heritage building. So now I like to spend a minute or two to visualize the size and placement that I want to fit this building onto this square page. I think I'm going to begin with the pretty dominant part of this building is the awning or the canopy above the entrance, which is clearly a trapezoid shape. This is the top of the awning. This is the front part, and on the bottom I see this long castle line. A lot of letter ends continuously until here. Alright, so this is a 3D shape that we can see two sides of it. And some more bars in the middle and above the awning. Okay, and now it's time to move on to the next large shape above the awning. Is the second floor area, beginning with the super thin column on the left side and the right side. So when drawing buildings, there are a lot of symmetrical elements. So when we recognize these elements, the drawing process becomes easier. And then more horizontal lines above the column. Yeah, so many parallel lines. But we're drawing long and straight lines. You don't have to be perfect because we're humans. It's pretty much impossible for us to draw mechanically straight lines. Human-made lines, I believe, they contain more life and human energy within those imperfect lines. Now, I am drawing these three little units, these pop-up areas in the middle of each of these three windows, and more horizontal lines connecting these three pop-up thingies together. All right, and now I'm ready to divide this large unit of the second floor area into medium and small units. Some three more of these little columns dividing the three window areas. A bit of accentuation on the sides and more horizontal lines. Lots of patience. Some accentuation to divide the areas of different colored wooden areas. All right, so now I'm ready to draw the window frames and the smallest units, these glassy panels inside the window frames. So a lot of these repeating rectangles. Oh, apparently there are 4 windows here. So 8 panels of glass. And adding some reflective details, actually, or the interior space behind these glassy areas. Adding a bit of hatching to show the light and shade, working on the glassy panels, a bit of accentuation around each panel. Also quick hatching lines to suggest shade. All right, I think that's very much it for the second floor area. Some more final accentuations around these glassy panels so they stand out better, because I have a lot of lines in this area. Yeah, for this whole building, I see tons of horizontal and vertical lines. So accentuation really helps those important elements to stand up better. And also on the top of the awning, a thicker line for accentuation. Now I'm ready to move on to the ground level, which is a little bit more complicated with lots of overlappings. Before finishing the bottom line, I'm going to add some customers sitting out here enjoying a good time with their cup of coffee and snack. So there's actually a man reading a book, starting with his head, his body area, his arm folding and holding that book with one hand, legs crossing, the table in front of him, and his cup of coffee here. And the other leg coming down, the other leg is actually on top, drawing his chair behind the legs of the chair. So a lot of abstract lines. I just trust more what I see rather than spending a lot of time hesitating and analyzing. All right, it's a really warm, sunny day, wonderful day to enjoy a cup of iced coffee or iced tea. And here's a senior lady sitting down on the right side of the building. I think I'm gonna draw her. Her outfit is kind of interesting. Okay, before that, I want to add these display window panels behind the man reading the book. So this is a hanger with a basket of flowers. This is the basket in a cone shape, and the bunch of flowers in it. And I know the placement of the flower basket by aligning it vertically with that short little column on the second floor above it. And same for this flower basket. So we have another symmetrical relationship over here with these 2 flower baskets. And here we go. Add a bit of accentuation underneath this castle line, so it stands out better. And some more short horizontal lines. A vertical line that frames the other display window on the right hand side. There is another bunch of flowers over here. Inside a flat, like a shopping basket style kind of thing. And then, yeah, continue that vertical line below the flower basket there. Okay, so now I think I'm ready to draw the senior lady sitting on the right side, starting with her hat, her hair, her nose, her face, her eye, which is simply a dot, her arm, her back kind of curving. She's sitting in her walking chair. Yeah, so that's the back part. Continuing her arm, her hand holding her cup of drink. This is the support area of her walking chair. There's a basket behind her leg. So because this is a side view, you can only see one of her legs. The other one is actually mostly hidden behind. And then this little table in front of her in a rectangular prism shape. And the legs of the little table. And there's a big couch. I think it's a wicker chair. Yeah, really nice design. And then drawing the side area, the seat. There's some overlappings, a lot of abstract shapes. So again, just really trust what you see and don't analyze too much. Okay, now I'm ready to move on to the bottom left side of this building again. Some more framing lines. And here I am around the entrance, the door of the cafe, and also determining the bottom of this building here. And then here I see the street number of this building, 1016, and then within this little cubicle there's a fan here spinning, and then the door frame below it. Again, a lot of horizontal and vertical lines. Here I'm capturing a little girl walking in and getting her order. She's wearing a bike helmet, and the counter area, the owner, the lady of the cafe, in an apron, and yeah, just keep it really simple and cartoony. And the menu behind her, just using these very simple shapes to define what those things could be. Leave it for the viewers to imagine what those things could be. And then I'm drawing these cute little hearts as window decorations. Yes, again, I'm trying to just quickly summarize this area. There are actually numerous little hearts on there. And just let go, move on to the folding screen inside. And the lamps shining. Some more abstract shapes to define the shelf and the items in there. The name of the cafe, Cordero Cafe on Cordero Street. And some more bright little lamps dangling. And then some more essential details done with loose lines, a shelf with some merchandise. Yeah, the bottom of the entrance area. And again, it's heavily shaded around the door frame. And now I'm finishing the bottom of this building behind this guy reading here. Okay, I think that's very much it for the drawing part of this building. Now, when I'm doing urban sketching, I very rarely just draw a solid, dry building. I always like to include foliage around a building. So now there's actually another house with a front garden beside it. This is the little shrub area. Again, with a lot of squiggly lines to define the form of the shrub. And these cute little branches and twigs of, so I'm guessing these are rhododendron leaves. Yeah, really cute, loose, bright shapes. So one quick suggestion for you about drawing plants or a large mass of greenery is that you don't have to draw every single leaf or cluster of leaf that's on there. So you can just draw the one that is pretty prominent in the front area and just let go. Now drawing the fence, a lot of these vertical bars and the horizontal bars connecting them together. More branches of another tree. I think it's a little maple tree. And then the loose lines defining the canopy of this little red maple tree. Drawing some of the leaves to give it an identity that is the maple tree. The top part of these branches are mostly obstructed by the leaves. And some more single leaves, just to make it really relaxing to look at the same time defining the tree. Okay, so I think that's it for the drawing part of these greeneries around the cafe. Alright, and just final few lines to define the fridges in there, holding the cold drinks, accentuation around the column there on the right left. Shape the lady's chair a little bit and a couple of more clusters of leaves here. Alright, it's time to let go of the drawing before adding way too much details. Now I'm writing down the place, Cordero Cafe, the time, and a little note. And there are actually a lot of details surrounding this little building. So there's actually more trees behind. I was juggling whether or not I should be including those branches and twigs. So I decided just to draw them. And then there are actually these holiday lights dangling on the second floor of this building. And I just decided to draw these lights to add a more cheerful atmosphere to this little scenery here. Okay. And the mat on the entrance. Now it's finally time to paint, so I just wetted the background area with a little clear water, putting on very boldly a bit of cerulean blue. The sky is perfectly sunny today, cloudless, so playing with a slight bit of transition of values of cerulean blue with water control. And now adding these warm colors inside the display windows. This is very much lemon yellow mixed with cadmium yellow, diluted with a lot of water. And also for the street as well, illuminated by the sunshine. For the awning is a really old and weathered rubber of orange-brown tones. So on top of the orange wash, I'm putting on a bit of raw umber for the weathered look. And punching on some red oranges inside the display windows. Grabbing a little bit of viridian green, mix it with yellow ochre for this old-fashioned green here and there for this building. So the painting part of this little urban sketch is actually very straightforward. The point is just to use bright and happy colors to get it done without, very much complicated techniques. It's actually pretty simple. That's why I'm kind of speeding it up. It's 4 times faster than my actual painting speed. And some more oranges on the bottom part and little red dots for textures. The wall in there is actually mostly orange and reds. Grabbing a little bit of leftover gray to paint these shaded areas for the interior behind the display windows. And now I'm grabbing a bit more concentrated raw umber for a higher contrast for the back of the awning, which is really weathered and old. And some more muted red oranges for these window frames. And don't forget to punch on the cadmium yellows for these bright light bulbs in there. Grabbing some leftover organic green for the reflective colors on these glassy areas of the foliage around the building. and mixing my own gray with cobalt blue, bit of royal purple, and a tiny bit of green for my own type of gray for the shadow underneath and around these columns. Another layer of more concentrated green on these wooden panels. Okay, I think now I'm ready to paint the foliage on the right side of the building. Starting with the lightest tone of green, which is a bright yellow-green color. This is a mix of yellow ochre, very high ratio of yellow ochre, and a little bit of viridian green. For the maple tree is a mix of orange and red. And using a super light wash of leftover blue to suggest another building on the left that I don't want it to be way too dominant. And then painting these wooden furniture, the tables and chairs, around with yellow ochre. And this lady is wearing a shirt and pants with red stripes. And that gives her really good character. And for skin color, I mix orange and red together, diluted with a lot of water to get a very natural medium skin color. And then the girl was wearing red pink. Some more leftover colors to paint these teeny tiny areas. Okay, so now I see the orange color of the awning is fading a little bit, so now I want to add another layer of more vibrancy. It's supposed to be coming forward from the flat surface of the building, so it needs a brighter tone. And another layer for the maple tree here, a more concentrated red-orange, containing less water and more of these dotting brush marks to suggest the texture of the leaves. A bit of brown in between for shaded areas. For the shrubs below, I am using viridian green mixed with burnt sienna for a shade color of green. Some final polish here and there. These hearts, I'm using just pure red from the palette. A lot of gray areas to suggest shade for this building that I want to make almost invisible on the left side. Greens for those little bare branch trees on top of the building. For greeneries, most of the shaded areas are around the bottom part. Like right over here, viridian green mixed with burnt sienna. Okay, now I'm going to add a bit of spattering using my large tip Holbein water brush for a nice loose effect on the left side. But the left side looks a little static. So spatter some leftover orange on here, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. If you like it, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates. It's summertime now, I'm traveling a lot, and I'll update my channel with 3 or more videos every week. See you soon, everyone. Bye.